He is a boar. Got some little cutters on him, but they just started their little whistling sound. It's kind of cool. Oh yeah, popping in the teeth. We will refer to this for this technical training session right now here in Central Florida, where it's 742 degrees, 900% humidity. Gate I was showing you earlier. Okay, so you're going to see here, right? It's free now. It's about 2:15 in the morning. We got about another hour to go. I used to work a lot at night. I worked mostly at night most of my career, especially the last 10 some odd years of my career. I worked at night. I worked with a small group of guys. They didn't work for the same outfit I worked for, but good times, good memories. Unfortunately, when we went out at night, it was never for like a celebration or a good time. There was always a victim. Some of them were alive and some of them were dead. And I spent a lot of time with dead people. Oddly enough, that's what I miss about the job. Kind of kept everything in perspective. But you know, now I still deal with death, but just not people. Just a bunch of hogs. Aggravating. Anyway, and I checked the weather where we're going to be. There's some scattered showers too, but the plan is to hit the ground running, take this solo out, and load this trap up onto a trailer, get it out of the prairie, get it out of Laura Ingles' backyard, and then lay down and take a nap. We're going to keep on trucking and get back to you. All right, it's 3:30, just got on property. We're going to ease on up, just go straight up to the, I mean, we're not going to go all the way to the trap. We're going to have to walk about a quarter mile. But basically at the very bottom of the prairie, where it goes from woods to prairie, we'll park there. We could jump in the forward or the side by side, but they're a little bit noisy. This Tacoma's pretty quiet. So we'll ease up there, slip on our rubber boots, put on my camouflage hat, and grab the thermal and the 22 and head on up there. Weather's actually pretty nice. It's about 80 degrees. Got a little bit of it's kind of like some scattered showers, but right now it looks like it's pretty clear. But humidity doesn't seem to be too bad, so this might be a pretty good plan to go ahead, take him out, come back, get the side by side, hook up the mini hog that we left down here the other day, and then just go ahead and pull the trap, bring it back to camp, take a shower, take a pretty good nap, and then, you know, say after lunch, get up and the south trap goes right here where I'm driving by, and then put it back where it belongs. So, all right, trying to minimize how much light we're using, so I'm not trying to be creepy. So we're here at the edge of the prairie, so we'll go out, hang a hard right, and head north. I just wanted to show you a couple little funny things here, which I think is funny. The pulsar scope that I use, the ones the boys got, the much newer versions. Mine's almost probably 10 years old, but it was like $200 to get a battery cover that would, you know, lock in place. Big surprise. What did I use to hold the battery cover in place? Let me show you. That's right, Gorilla Tape. Does a great job, holds the battery cover in place. And last night in the swamp, my 22 that I carry, something happened to the rear sling stud, so I didn't have time to fix it today. As you can see, zip tie, 75-pound tensile strength zip ties, that's all we use. So, gotta do what you gotta do. But anyway, we're gonna head up there and keep you posted. Got a nice moon going, half moon like I said earlier, so we got enough that we can kind of see without stumbling on our feet. Alright, but there's a coon in the trap with him eating corn. But we've been out here scanning up and down here where the ducks are at. You can see the ducks in the water. We thought we might catch another solo boar out here, taking a sponge bath, and we could ask him for his permit. But we'll go ahead and use on up to the trap. And once we get up there, we'll give you some light. But it is an absolutely, I didn't even see the half moon. I mean, there was a ton of deer coming out. I didn't need a thermal to see them. I mean, I could just see the big dark spot. But we're going to ease down here. We're about 50 yards from the trap. Hang on. Alright, we're about 30 yards from the trap, coming straight into the front gate. See how close we can get before he starts hitting on some panels. Here comes the light. Top of his teeth already. Hey fella. Oh yeah, popping them teeth. Get my little flashlight out here. Hey buddy. Hey, what do you think about this double gate setup? We brought a gate all the way from Georgia for you. Yep. Double gate. He's not a very big boar. You don't see them real big down here in Florida for some reason. Well, I don't think there's, I think the reason is they just don't have a good food source. But he's going to do a little rooting. Hey, can you come over here so we can look at your teeth? Oh, stop that now. Hey. Yeah. I hear a rooster crowing over in the distance. Yeah, so the plan is go ahead and take him out and then load this trap up before it gets too hot. You know, because there ain't no trees out here. We get some good shade. When we set it up, we'll have shade. Now, you that are new to watching our channel, I think that's what they call it. There's dragonflies out here landing on me. You'll always hear me refer to we. There ain't nobody out here but me. But that being said, I think we're a fool if we think it's just we're the only ones doing anything. We got plenty of living people that support us to make it out here, and we got plenty of dead people that are supporting us so we can get her done out here. That's not to be creepy and weird. That's just the way I see it. So it's a we thing. Ain't no I, but we tend to have a society that's focused on the I. So are you just going to stay over there? Yeah, he's not. He's pretty, he was pretty skittish when we had the bait site here, and then when we wrapped it, he was kind of okay with it, but he's been coming in that back panel, or back gate back there. But anyway, so this is a double gate Jager Pro. Oh man, check out this frog. See, that's the beauty right there. Hold on, let me get that little fella. Hi fella. Yeah, I know you in TV land are probably more impressed with the hog than you are that little tree frog. How you doing, buddy? He's like, man, who in the hell are you and what is all this commotion about? Well, 4:20 America, 4:20 East Coast time, Central Florida. We're fixing to put him on the ground and we're fixing to get to work. Won't be long before the sun will be coming up, and I'm hoping to be taking my nap about that time. So we'll get back to you. Alrighty, 4:30 in the morning here in Central Florida. Double gate Jagger Pro, dropping down on a single bore, driving 2.5 hours to do that duty. And for some of you may think that's crazy, but it's all about being passionate about what you do, telling a man you're going to do what you say you're going to do, and doing your part. So he needed to be removed from the equation, and we needed to get this trap back to the south where it's supposed to be. So it is what it is. But here, let me flip this camera around so y'all can take a look at him. Again, guys, work with us on these lights out here. We're working in the middle of the night. I'm trying to run a camera by myself. I'm not sure how many YouTube people are, running cameras at night by themselves. But anyway, not a real big boar. He is a boar. Got some little cutters on him, but he's out of the equation. Doesn't take a very big hog to make a mess of things. One thing that you can look at when you really start getting into trapping hogs is start looking for patterns. Patterns, like what you're looking for, patterns in the skin, their hides, that the foot here, like that, and you'll start seeing genetic traits that, it's coming down through the bloodlines. And you'll start seeing you'll finally take out a big boar. You'll start, we've seen all these young ones, they got this certain pattern. So he's been around for a while, but this little guy here, I haven't seen that little, the hoofs are a little different on him. But anyway, so what we're gonna do is, like I said, we're gonna hike it back to the Tacoma, take the Tacoma back to camp, swap out for the UTV, grab a mini hog, and come up here and start busting this trap down. We might try to do a little video footage of it. It's going to be in the dark. And anyway, it's taking a trap apart. I'm not sure how interesting that is, but the ducks didn't, I only took like 2 or 3 shots to take him down, but the ducks didn't phase the ducks. So they're all happy out there and they're loving life. And I've grown to really like these ducks since I've been trapping right here next to them. They're just kind of cute. But hopefully we won't make too much noise this morning and interrupt their morning routine. So hang on, and here we go. So anyway, one of the conditions when we took on this job with the customer was the use of equipment. So we don't have to bring equipment all the way down from Georgia. So it works out pretty good. And a lot of our customers let us use tractors and whatever else. And that's the mini hog. It's got a winch, and then we got a mini hog without a winch. And our customer here actually has his own mini hog that we built for him and sold to him. So anyway, first thing we're going to do is go ahead and grab that gate. That's our gate. These gates you can take apart pretty easy, but I backed up close enough that I should be able to just slide it up, and then I'm going to strap the gate to one side, and then I'll just start loading panels on the downhill side. You always kind of want to think about that when you're loading panels, is that if they're on the downhill side, gravity kind of works to your advantage. We like welding racks in there versus, like temporary racks or things to hang panels on. We like racks. It just seems to work better for us. And then pretty much that's it. I'm going to have to do after that point. This won't take but about 30 minutes. The mine camera's up there on the big pole. I'll take the mine camera down. And this is the ice camera that actually goes with this bait site. So I'll just take the mine camera with me, put the ice camera up there where it belongs. The camera mounts are already set, and pretty much that's it. So it's going to go back to just being a bait site. And so not a bad process. I know it seems kind of crazy to be doing this, this late at night or this early in the morning. But, I can promise you, we've figured out ways to beat the heat, and it gets pretty warm down here in Central Florida. So, am I tired? Yeah, I'm tired. But it's 30 minutes out here where if I was out here at, 8, 9 o'clock in the morning, it's going to suck the life out of me. So that's that's how if you follow us and you've watched the videos, that little notification there is an actual camera that we're very interested in. We have one phone, which we call the Hog phone, 57 cameras coming in. That one in my pocket's my personal one, and we'll isolate certain cameras that we really want to focus on. So let me get back to looking at that camera right there and see what's going on, and start loading some panels. So we'll get back to you. Well, as you can tell, everything's starting to come alive, man. Kind of hard to see. Let me give you a little light. I've already got all the panels pulled. I've got our gate loaded, so it's already hooked up, you know, on the trailer. There's all the panels. It's only been about 30 minutes. I said it doesn't go fast, or it goes fast. That's what we call the gate, and then over here is the frame. I just wanted to show you this because, you know, you can take these gates apart really easy. Even this is the, I don't know, I guess the second generation Jager Pro gate. I guess there's a third generation. There's one newer than this, but either way, it's just 2 bolts there, 2 bolts over there, and then I call that the frame. Very light. All total, gate and frame, it's about 145 pounds. I think the new gate to me might be about 150 pounds, but it breaks apart, but it only has 2 bolts. This particular one has 4. You'll see how they work over here. They don't come out. So anyway, but all we got to do is basically get the frame over here, set it up on the trailer, put the gate back together. It takes just a few minutes. The owner of the property here, he talks about these ducks. They're called whistling ducks. I'm not sure exactly, you know, what kind of breed they are or whatever, but they just started their little whistling sound. It's kind of cool. Because he texted me just a few minutes ago and he said, hey, say hello to the ducks, the whistling ducks, for me this morning. So they've already started their little chitter chatter. But we still got to get this boar out of here, but we're about ready to wrap it up. All right, we got her loaded. Took about 45 minutes. I'll be honest with you, I don't mind working in the heat, but when you're this close to sunrise, you might as well just go ahead and ride it on out and take a little peek at it. So that's just me. So anyway, we got her loaded. She's over there. Just gonna step around here, see everything else cleaned up. We moved the ice camera up on the big pole, so you'll see that. So we're running the ice camera, the mine camera, which the mine camera drops the gate. It's gonna head back with the trap. Pretty nice setup. I'm bragging on the trailers, but you know, double gate system fits on there. I'll bring you over here and kind of show you the, you know, you've got the basket here. We load all of our connecting rods, T-post, anything that we need will fit in there, no problem. So there's our little Boar. But one thing I wanted to add on these connecting rods, on a single gate system, you're going to get 13 connecting rods. It's real easy to leave these connecting rods behind. I know it sounds goofy, but it is. So 2 systems we have for making sure we don't leave connecting rods. We'll stack the rods alongside this basket, count them, throw them in. Or as you pull the panels, you leave the rods up and make a circle. If you do forget a connecting rod and you get to your site and you're like, crap, man, you know, I don't have my connecting rod, I'm in bad shape. You can take a ratchet strap and just weave it through there, like it, you know, between the 2 panels, like an oak snake. Just weave it through, ratchet it down. I mean, we've done that before when we've been all the way across the property. We're running out of time. We're like, man, we got to get this thing up. Get some rebar, put a thing of rebar in there. But I mean, if you're in the field, a ratchet strap. I've never tried Gorilla Tape or zip ties. Of course, I've thought about it, but no, a ratchet strap works fine. So we're gonna come over here and see if we can't take a peek and see if we can get some of these whistling ducks to give you a little music this morning, and then we're gonna head back to camp. But let's see if them ducks they were singing a while ago, but they've shut up now. They might be a little bit spooked. It was kind of cool when I was up here earlier. I could see them with the thermal. I was thermaling all of this, but you can see here, hopefully, still kind of dark, but these hogs have just literally destroyed all this. I mean, that's what they do. Let me flip this camera around. I mean, way above my pay grade, but I can promise you there's some part, an integral part of the ecosystem is down here that they're just wiping it out, you know. So this has been going ongoing problem with this property. So we're doing a pretty good job. That's 4 single boars that we've literally taken out of here. But I mean, you know, you're like, well, it's a bunch of mud and junk, who cares? I'm pretty sure there's something in here that, you know, makes a difference. But you look at this up here. This here is fresh. This is probably from our little guy last night, you know. And that's what they do all the time. And these were some highly educated hogs. I mean, I'm confident that we'd have had a lot of trouble, you know, getting them into a trap. The double gate worked well for that, and the chief trap, the big drop trap, worked good for that. So anyway, but we're gonna leave this bait side up, let it do its job, and if we get more to it, then we'll move. The chief trap is on the west property line. We'll bring it over here and just keep doing the same thing. But let me get back to camp. I'm starting to run out of steam. I don't know where my whistling ducks went. There's 2 right there, but maybe I did spook them. I was playing a little Bob Seger earlier. They didn't seem to care because they seemed like they were singing right along with the man. But now that the sun's come up, maybe they got bigger plans. Hang on. All right, so we got a little bit of sleep last night, or this morning, not a bunch. I'm not going to consult with the smart, you're stupid watch. Sometimes I think it's better just to play dumb. But Jedi mind trick, try to convince my brain that everything's normal. You know, it's like a normal routine day. So I did my protein shake, I stretched, I did my chi or my chai tea. I'm not really sure how to pronounce that, but I do like it. And we're going to throw this trap up, back up there on the south side. Shouldn't take long. It really doesn't, especially if you've got a trailer and you can back right up there to it and just slap it up. We kind of know how it goes because we're just going to follow our old patterns where the panels was at. And then hopefully we'll get a run in. I'd like to get a run in before I head back to Georgia. And that's really it. I mean, I've got stuff that I can do here, but I really need to get back home. You know, just we got crap to do, and then we're supposed to leave tomorrow, go to Alabama and watch Wyatt play baseball. All that aside, hang on. We're fixing to throw up a single gate Jaeger Pro and go for a run, hopefully go for a run, and get our asses back to Georgia, God's country. Not that it's not nice here, but clearly South Georgia is God's country. Y'all hang on. Okay, so we're here at the South Trap, or where the South Trap used to be. When we pulled it the other night, we left the feeder, we left the big pole up, and we left the ice camera up. And we left one T-post that was not being cooperative. So anyway, pretty simple here is we're just going to pull the gate out, probably as close as I've got the trailer to it. We don't need to disassemble it. So we can just kind of slide it and drag it over. It's 150 pounds roughly. We'll go ahead and pop it in place, and then we'll just start running our panels around. One of the advantages of having these smaller trailers is that literally I came right in here, you know, turned around with the side-by-side, backed up a little bit here and there. You get a big trailer, it ain't gonna work. We want light trailers. We don't want heavy trailers. We want small trailers. We want trailers that are balanced. So what I mean by that is they don't really have any tongue weight, which is not good for towing. But what we end up doing is just throw a couple bags, you know, up on the front to give us that tongue weight. But if we get in a tight spot and we need to disconnect from the UTV or the Gator or the, you know, four-wheeler or whatever, we can manhandle a whole trap by ourselves, you know, without having to hook it up. But if we're towing a distance, then we throw a couple bags of corn up at the front of the trailer and give us that tongue weight that we need. So that's kind of how we do it. But I'll spin you around here and so you can kind of take a look. So I found another use for the tripod besides, you know, holding a rifle at night. It makes a pretty good little camera mount. You just kind of set it up on that wedge. But anyway, so there you go. That's kind of the deal. It won't take long. We've had really good success with this trap here. It's been good for us. And yeah, we are under fire right now. We are in a combat situation. That's a joke. But anyway, so we're going to pop her back up. It's not too hot. I mean, it's pretty humid. But pop this thing back up, drive in our other T-post, and this should go pretty quick. I mean, within easy 30 minutes, we'll be done. And get the mine camera back on the big pole and just make sure everything's working. So, stay tuned. Okay, so we got all the panels up. One little thing I want to show you here at the gate. Not a big deal. We see it a lot when we go and do like a service call on somebody's system. You know, gate doesn't work right, camera issue, whatever. So when you're putting these panels together, one, you want these panels to somewhat be free, right? You don't want them in a bind. We want this system to breathe, okay? Breathing means it flexes. If you're responding at night, not that big of an issue, but we do see that a lot of people do not want to respond at night. They go in the daytime. Harder on the hogs, harder on the trap. But we can't control people once they buy the system and go on. But anyway, and with that being said, I just want to show you one thing here real quick on these gates. So when you're attaching your panels, you see how that's right there, okay? Right there, right there, okay? This allows this panel to have some flexibility with that gate. Now we're going to T-post this, which will explain why we do that. You don't have to, but we're going to explain why we do it. Then you come over here and you see that, right? Okay, it's kind of wedged in there. Doesn't give it a lot of flexibility. So that's going to cause more strain on the gate, less strain on that panel right there. So all we have to do at this point, it's not a big fix, is we just pop that connecting rod out, and then we're going to lift the panel up from this corner, and we're going to lift that corner up. It's going to pop it loose there, and then it'll give it some freedom there. So the reason we T-post our gates, personally, the reason we do it, is because hogs love, they're kind of odd if you watch them for a long time. They'll kind of skirt the ends of the gate, and they'll come in and they'll get over here for whatever reason. Now again, this is conditioning, part of the conditioning process. We want them to be comfortable. But they'll come here and they'll rub right here. And they rub on that. Not a big issue. But when your gate's up and they're rubbing on it, and you got a 300-pound hog that just decides that that's a nice little tree that he wants to rub on, which is good. I mean, we want to see that behavior. You might get some rattling on this gate. Yeah, I don't like that. I really don't. Hogs are used to a lot of sounds. Rattling steel is probably not one of them. So we like to T-post our gates for that reason. And then we've posted in other videos how we attach the gate to the T-post, and I will do my best to show that to you today. I've only got 2 hands, and it takes 2 hands to do that, so I'll try to set up this rifle tripod where I can do that. Alright, so yeah, I'm sweating like Wyatt in church. I mean, it's running down my back and running down everywhere else, but better than snow. Okay, I got the camera set up on the shooting stick, so hopefully this will This will be my other hand. So how we do this, and the reason we came up with this thought process is we want this gate and these panels to breathe, as we call it, breathing, right? A little flexibility. So with that in mind, we didn't want to attach anything to this T-post that was like steel on steel. That's just our opinion. I do know of people who do that, but this is the way that we do it. The way we've done it for years, and we feel good about it. We're all bow hunters. We're not horn hunters, we're meat hunters. And I clarify that because I'm not overly, I just don't get spun up on killing an animal for his horns. But in bow hunting, you'll wear a safety harness and it'll have a tether, and it tears and tears and tears if you fall, so you don't have the hard jar, right? So that's the theory that I came up with, was I want this thing to give a little, but not a bunch, and then just keep giving. So, big surprise, zip tie. We will refer to this for this technical training session right now here in Central Florida, where it's 742 degrees, 900% humidity, and I'm sweating like Wyatt going to church 12 times. Better than snow. So, we're going to run this around the frame of the gate, right? We're around the frame, we're not going into the gate itself. Normally we use 5-foot T-posts for everything. For our feeder legs, for our gates. These are 6.5-foot T's. You don't need all that crap, in my opinion. So we normally just drop it down below the blades, and that's it. The beauty of that is, half the time we don't need a T-post puller unless we're in like Georgia or Alabama clay. So you're going to attach the zip tie, and you're going to snug it up, okay? Now this particular zip tie, we've got it around there, and what we're doing is we're going to wrap it back around the zip tie, okay? So we're not going forward, we've gone through the zip tie, now we're going backwards. Gorilla Tape. We are not sponsored by Gorilla Tape, but I can promise you we love Gorilla Tape. My daddy was always a 3M duct tape man, and he died just right before Gorilla Tape hit big. So unfortunately, he didn't get to enjoy the pleasures of Gorilla Tape. So what we're going to do is take a little piece of Gorilla Tape, and we're going to attach it. And now we're going backwards. We're going back against it, right? And then we're going to wrap around. And you're like, well, that don't make no sense. Well, the failure point, if you were going to get really technical here, the failure point of this zip tie is the locking mechanism, okay? They have tensile strengths on zip ties. Our little zips that we use for everything are 75 pounds of tensile strength. So that's where the jack is at, right, is the locking mechanism. We know that this locking mechanism is going to break when a hog hits his gate hard enough. That breaks, but it's going backwards, right? So it's having to fight this, and then the Gorilla Tape kicks in, and then the Gorilla Tape gives it a little bit more of a fight. Ultimately, what will happen is locking mechanism breaks, zip tie completely fails, then our Gorilla Tape fails, and now by that time generally, unless you're doing some daytime junk, the hog's done. He knows, she knows, this is the way I came in, this is where it went bad for me, and I need to beat the hell out of this thing, okay? So now we take a bigger piece of Gorilla Tape, doesn't matter which way we wrap it, and we just wrap it. This makes for speed when we're moving traps. We can come in here with a pair of tin snips or a really sharp knife, cut the zip, cut it all. We have seen traps where this will actually come completely loose, Gorilla Tape, zip tie, and there'll be like a wad laying over there on the ground. But this helps this gate flex, helps the system flex. It's also quick and easy to put on. A couple of these and you're good to go. So we're going to do the same thing to the other side. I'm not going to bore you unless you want to learn more about zip ties and Gorilla Tape. And then I'm going to briefly show you kind of how we kind of go ahead and flex out this system. Zeb is the best at it. Sounds silly, but he really is good at jumping in the trap, and I'm like, hey, make her happy. And so he'll get in there, and man, he's got a little system he does. I'm going to try to demonstrate it. Y'all might get a good laugh, all right? So we'll get right back to you. Okay, so we got the Gorilla Tape zip tie combo on both sides. I'm going to show you, we just went ahead and corrected the where the panel connects to the gate. I was showing you earlier. Okay, So you're going to see here, right? It's free now. It's got some movement. We want movement. Once you have the gate secured, and what we mean by that is, you know, 2 T-posts that's locked in. The gate's not going to move now. Once you did that, we like to go ahead and get her all situated, being the panels. We like the panels to go ahead and kind of, you know, we don't want any straight lines, meaning straight. We want a little bit of a corner, but you don't want a big hard corner, because you get a big hard corner, a hog may think, I can climb out of that. And seriously, it's like you're giving them a ladder. So you want a little bit of a corner, but not a straight wall. So let me set the camera up. All right, so what you want to do, once you got all your panels up, you got them all set, your gate's locked on, you're going to want to come, it's the easiest way to do it, is just to kind of grab 2 panels like this and push with your butt. You're just kind of pushing back. What you're doing is putting some little bends in it, okay? And then you go all the way around the trap to make sure that all the way around the trap you have a little bit of a corner, but not a big corner, no straight walls. With the gate secured, nothing's really going to change a whole lot. If you try to pull and yank on one side, it ain't going to work. Just go to each of your joints and you go, yeah, I need a little bit more of a corner. Is that technical? Yeah, it's technical. So now at this point, what we're going to do is go ahead and put the mine camera back up. We're going to make sure the mine camera has to communicate with the gate. In other words, they call it syncing them. There's no reason they should have came unsynced, but once in a blue moon, crap happens. So we need to make sure that that gate and that camera are communicating, all right? And that is just a constant reminder of our Second Amendment rights right there with that shooting in the background. God bless it, I love it, as long as we don't catch a bullet this way. All right, hang on. Okay, everything's working. Tested the gate, tested the ice camera, tested the mine camera. A few little minor adjustments with the mine camera. We're big on camera angle. I mean, if you got to think about it, from your bed at 2 o'clock in the morning or your kitchen table or wherever you're going to flip the switch and drop the gate, that lens of that camera is your eyeballs. So I'm sorry, I don't know how else to word this. I would not half-ass camera placement. To me, camera placement is one of the most critical things of trapping hogs, because that is your eyes. You don't have the ears, well, unless you're running a live video, but it's your eyes. So you will see with us, we offset our feeder, okay? We offset it. It's not in the center of the trap, and I don't want it in the center of the trap. I want that camera to look at, okay, I don't want to spin too fast and get you sick. I want it to look at that gate. All right, so we have a system. You'll see that typically on all of our systems, the feeder is either to the left of the mine camera or the right of the mine camera, but never in the center. We just don't do that. So we want to see that gate because that's where it's at, right? And then that ice camera is looking at that gate. So we've got the gate covered on 2 different angles. The main job of the mine camera is to watch this where the corn's dropping. We've got hardware cloth on this one. We've had a lot of coon problems in this system. So literally the corn just dumps right there. All right, so it doesn't spread out too much. Got a little thunder in the background. But anyway, so we're pretty much wrapping up here. I'm gonna get back to camp. I'm gonna take this trailer, hook it up to the Tacoma, because it's going back to Georgia, God's country. And then as you can see, a little bit of sweat there. And feeling pretty fresh. I'm probably going to throw on my running gear and get a quick 3 miles in, and then take a shower, saddle up, head home. So it's about 4:20. We're doing pretty good on time. Not where I really want to be, but it is what it is, and it's better than snow. So hang on, we're going to keep on trucking. All right, we got all packed up. I got the trailer hooked up to the Tacoma. Going to go ahead and get my quick run in here. The weather's kind of acting like it's wanting to rain, a little thunder blusting up here and there. But anyway, we're doing our laundry. We got a washer and dryer in the camp house, but I won't have time when I get back. So you know it's a good day of hog trapping when you got to hang your shirt, your socks. I left the underwear part out for y'all. You'll be thankful for that. And your pants, because they literally need to dry before we throw them in the back of the Tacoma because they be really stinking by the time we get back to Georgia. So we're going to run up the west property line, do a little scouting, come down the north line, and then kind of run down through the center of the property and look for tracks, you know, and hopefully we won't see any hog tracks, just the 10 million deer that are here tracks. So we'll get shortly back to you, and then we're going to take a quick shower, a little Marine Corps shower, and we're going to put it in the wind. Okay, we're all packed up. Phenomenal run. You know, not all the runs are 10s. Some of them feel like 5s and 4s, but today it was a 10. I don't know why. I mean, I'm tired, but man, it was a good run. I just didn't want to quit. Anyway, good backdrop here. It's one of the biggest water sinks on the property. There is an aerator in it, but man, it's I've done some footage of it before. So why are we here on 700 acres? Why are we running 3 systems? Why are we driving in the middle of the night, trapping hogs? I mean, what's all that about? Is it just about the money? Nah, it's not about the money. I mean, you look at this sink back here, you know, I've said it before and I'll say it again. You know, our landowner swam in that when he was a kid, a young kid. And then he went out and worked his ass off and saved up his money and came back and bought this property, and he's swimming in it again. And so the restoration project here is to make sure that other people can swim in that years down the road. And if it wasn't for what we were doing with the hogs, they'd be in there every damn night. And I mean, it wouldn't look like that. So it's about restoring, preserving the ecosystem and the property and the land. So anyway, hog trapping. But we fixing to saddle up and head back to Georgia. Got a long drive ahead. It's kind of boring, but it's better than driving in the snow. Okay, we are back. I'm tired. It's a little after 10. Good ride back. I did dive into the app for the smart stupid watch. I was just curious, man. I was like, you know, I wonder what my volts are, you know, because my run was really good, but I didn't get much sleep. And my volts were really bad. They were like 38. So clearly I was, you know, just loving life and, you know, jacked up on endorphins and sunrises and sunset and half moons and whistling ducks, man, just kind of energized. But anyway, so everything's put away, everything. I mean, truck, trailer, gate, we're very organized. Put your toys back in your toy box. I mean, it was instilled in me as a child and it stays as an adult, you know. Literally took the gate off the trailer and it's out there where we put our, you know, extra equipment. It's always good to have a spare gate if you're trapping a lot. It's always fun just to throw another gate up there and let it rock on. Not necessary at all, but anyway, just like, you know, hell, if you got it, use it. But that's pretty much it. I think we're headed to Alabama in the morning to watch Wyatt play some baseball. Definitely got some hogs up here that we need to drop some gates on. And I'm gonna leave you with this thought. Not super deep tonight, but if you're shy of the deepness, then, you know, click off. You know what I mean? Just go on. But I was in 5th or 6th grade, and on my mom and dad's farm, squirrel hunting with a 20 gauge, single shot 20 gauge. Still got the single shot 20 gauge, and it was like a, I don't know, I wouldn't say like a bullet hit me in the head, but it was like a really good feeling that, you know, at that exact moment in time where I was at on the farm, and I remember the spot, and you know, I still go to this day that I just felt I belonged. And I don't always feel like that when I'm out there in TV land. I really don't. Wherever y'all are at, you know, concrete jungles and asphalt, I write a lot about it. When I'm in the woods, I'm connected, I'm hooked up. It's solitude, it's not isolation. A friend of mine from Miami, he's a Cuban, so I think I can say that. He corrected me one day on that. He said, you seek solitude, not isolation. But part of the reason I think that I want to do these videos, I write so people can feel a connection, kind of relate. They can feel my words, they can hear my words. I mean, they can see it, and they have a connection, a sense of belonging. You know, that you're not that odd character out there in the middle of nowhere. So I guess with these videos, I'm kind of looking at it the same way. You know, that it's a good feeling to feel that you belong. It's a good feeling that you're a part of something. It's sad. I think our country used to be really united. We're not united much anymore. And I don't want to go down that rabbit hole. I really don't, because I'm just not going to. You know, there's no point in talking about it. We just try to fix it the best we can. So I'm going to stick myself out there on a video or two and see what happens, you know. And I don't know. You know, I analyze things a lot. That's one of the collateral damage of being a deep thinking person, and try to figure out why I'm doing what I'm doing and what's the purpose, and is that what God would want me to do? And I'm back at it again, right? You know, if I got a message, I'm gonna get it out there. So the message is, man, I'm just trying to align with some folks, connect with some folks, spread some hope, show you some beautiful scenery, show you a different perspective of hog trapping than that garbage, in my opinion, that's out there. That's, you know, it's not what drives all of us, you know. What's up with Bob Seger? He's just a passionate guy. Our society needs passionate people, and I'm a passionate hog trapper. I'm passionate about helping people work through bad junk that life just happens to throw at you. And I'm an intense bastard, excuse my language, but I'm just intense. And as we rock on with this, you'll see it more and more. And so on that note, big ass salad waiting up there, and I'm ready for it. I'm telling you, it's been a crazy couple of days, you know, leaving here at 12:30 last night and getting to bed at 7:30 this morning. But hey, that's the crazy life of an intense, passionate hog trapper. So y'all have a good night. We might see you tomorrow doing some baseball stuff, and we might not. But appreciate the support if you're giving it to us. And again, let us know how we're doing, because we're running blind. Thank you.